are you, and who let you into this backyard?
The homeowner called me. I came because he asked for help.
Sir, take your hands off that mower until I verify permission.
Officer, I asked him to help. I can't manage this yard.
That's why I'm here cutting it before things get worse.
All right, you have permission. Go ahead and continue working.
The police officer was already standing beside the neighbor when I shut down the mower and climbed off. The woman kept pointing at me like I had committed a crime, demanding that the officer remove me from the property immediately. Just a few yards away stood Walter Hayes, a 93-year-old retired railroad maintenance worker from Spokane, Washington. He leaned heavily on a worn aluminum walker, dressed in faded plaid pajamas and old slippers that barely stayed on his feet. His shoulders were hunched, his hands trembled from severe arthritis, and he looked exhausted before he even spoke. What the neighbor did not tell the officer was that Walter had received a second city compliance notice less than a week earlier. The letter warned that if the overgrown grass and vegetation surrounding his property were not addressed within 10 days, he could face more than $900 in municipal fines. For someone surviving entirely on Social Security while paying for heart medication and mobility treatments, that amount might as well have been a fortune. I had stopped because the situation was impossible to ignore. Grass nearly reached the height of the mower deck. The side access path behind the house had disappeared beneath thick weeds. Several areas around the property had become difficult for Walter to safely navigate with his walker. When I knocked on his door earlier that morning, he admitted he had been trying to cut the grass himself but could barely walk 20 feet without needing to rest. His wife had passed away several years earlier, his children lived out of state, and most days he handled everything alone. He told me he was more worried about losing his home than he was about the physical pain. Before I could explain any of that, the neighbor contacted police and claimed a stranger was operating equipment on the property. From the officer's perspective, the complaint sounded reasonable. He arrived, saw a man mowing a yard that clearly did not belong to him, and began asking questions. Meanwhile, the neighbor continued insisting that I had no right to be there and that city enforcement should handle the situation instead. Walter remained silent at first, gripping the handles of his walker while watching the confrontation unfold. Then the officer finally turned and asked Walter a simple question. "Did you ask this man to help you?" Walter slowly stepped forward and answered without hesitation. He explained that he had personally given permission. He explained that he physically could not finish the work himself. He explained that the city notices had been keeping him awake at night because he feared another fine would force him to choose between medication and household bills. The entire mood changed almost immediately. The officer looked around the property again, but this time he saw something different. He no longer saw an anonymous complaint. He saw a 93